This one should actually be spelt drink. Yeah, not drink, drink.
Once again, we find ourselves asking the question, are D and J the same thing? And I guess we gotta look and find out. Here we have the International Phonetic Alphabet symbols for the D sound, duh, and the J sound, j. We're gonna start with the D sound, which is also known as a voice alveolar stop. Voice meaning it's more vibration in your vocal cords. Alveolar meaning the point of articulation is your tongue and somewhere around your alveolar ridge, which is behind your top teeth. And stop meaning that we're completely blocking off the airflow in our vocal tract and then releasing it. And all of that together equals duh. And when we look at the symbol for the J sound, what we basically see is a caked up D, right? But what it really is a combination of that symbol for the D or duh sound and the symbol for the zh sound, like in usual. And that's what's called a fricative, which is basically channeling a lot of air through a narrow passage in our mouth. And when you combine a stop and a fricative, you get what's called an affricate, and that's what zh is. So to make it short, a D or duh sound is really us stopping and releasing the air, and the J or j sound is stopping, releasing, and then continuing. So now that we know that duh and j is pretty similar, it would track that they could still sound similar when paired up with an R, like in our original example of drink. Because R, or R, is an approximant, also sometimes called a liquid. And it's made by restricting the airflow in the same alveolar, post-alveolar space that duh and j is, but not to the same extreme. It's more space than a fricative is. And when you put a D and an R together, what you can get is almost a Yu-Gi-Oh style fusion, right? Because if you remember, D comes with a complete closure, a complete block of the airflow. And when you have to immediately transition to a wider R sound, sometimes it's easier to just tighten and restrict that whole thing. And what comes out is something similar to J or a J sound. And that's how we get words like drink or dress or dragon that are all spelled with D's but can sound more like they have J's. It's also how we get the name Drew Holiday.